When did you find out Ratzlaff wasn't available, and how do you feel Milish stepped in?
Uh, you know what? Rats is kind of under the weather. I'm sure if he was playing junior hockey, a playoff game, probably could go, but he's just under the weather, just more precautious. And I thought he did a good job. I think he was a bit of the whole entire tournament. If you look at the goals we gave up, like the first two, a lot of it, if you look at the 3 games, is, I don't know what our PK was, but it wasn't great. We weren't great on the power play, gave up a shorthanded goal, but I thought he did well. The first two, the backdoor on one hits off a knee pad, the other one deflects off our defenseman. So it was more just good to see him get in there. I thought he played well. You look at the score, you're probably going to think your goalie played bad, but I don't think he played bad at all.
Coach, the last 2 games especially, it seems like it wasn't that you weren't getting your chances.
No.
You were missing the net all night.
Yeah.
On both games, weren't you?
Yeah, I think if you look at the both 2 games, I think we had close to 90 shots on goal. And we probably missed the net 20 to 30 times. And then the amount of times, I think Wally might have had 6 to 7 grade A's. Not just grade A, like shots in the slot, like you're right around that house area where we just didn't finish. But I thought we had the puck a lot. Anytime, we're a big, heavy, I'm a big believer in like shot volume and creating chaos, and I thought we did that. Every game we had over, especially the last 2 games, we were close to 40 tonight. We were over 40 last night. You're going to score. We didn't capitalize on it. And then we missed a lot of, they would go one power play was really good, and then we'd go through a stretch where we, didn't get really good reps or in the zone. But it wasn't a lack of ozone time or chances. We had a ton, and then we missed a net quite a few times.
You mixed up your top 2 lines for today. Roseanne was on the top line. How did he fit with Wahlberg and Oslin? Then you mixed them again.
Yeah, they played together a lot during last season. So it was just to try to get the guys that have played with each other. Then we kind of switched it into the third period. Wally's played a bit of seminars, more to get him at reps at center too. So yeah, they were a really good line for us last year. Fiedler Schultz also played with Oz and Rosie and did a really good job. So that was kind of the reasoning behind the switch there.
And Neuchev played in his first game since March. What went into the decision to play him and put him on the second line?
Yeah, Neutsch is, I think, a top 6 player. He's really skilled. You could see some of the plays he made. I think he had 2 points tonight. It was good to see him get back. He was healthy. He had, recovery in the off season long. He missed a lot of time, so it was good to see him back. He's looked great at practice, and I thought second half of the game, he had a really good game.
Were you targeting today for him? Did you know he was going to be available?
Yeah, I think, there was a chance he could have played the second game, but I think it was to see how he recovered after practice. And he was good to go. We wanted to just make sure he was 100%.
Coach, in Roseanne's case, he's a 4-year pro now, going into his 4th year. He did not get a point this weekend. Do you need more out of him?
Yeah, I think with Rosie, it's just a matter the willingness to do it all the time and not the consistency in his game. You see it in flashes, but I think for him, going into training camp is just to do it all the time. As you're on your last year of your contract. I mean, that's for him is. It's, he has a will and he wants to do it. It's just being consistent in the game, not getting frustrated when things, and not so much if he's not getting points, but how do you impact the game? Because you're going to go through stretches where you don't get points, but how's your play away from the puck? Are you winning wall battles? Is he going to be the most physical player? Probably not, but his version of compete is being relentless on pucks, closing on guys quick, using his stick to disrupt turnovers. So it's just being consistent with his effort away from the puck. I think when you're not scoring is those intangible things that go a long way in your game and give you confidence too when you're playing the game the right way. one thing, when all goal scorers, Noah went through it last year before he got injured, but it's just doing those things so you have confidence, not just when you don't score, that you're helping your team win.
How did you feel about the way Wahlberg played this week?
I would say a little bit of the same. Like, he was in and out, like you saw in the third period when he can get on the forecheck. He had a ton of chances. I think he's going to have to learn how to finish those plays in front of the net. But when he's skating, when he's physically engaged, using his sticks to disrupt plays, I think he has a chance to be a good penalty killer too. So it's, the first game we played, he missed an assignment. So it's those things cleaning up. But there's a lot of tools in the toolbox now. It's just him utilizing those things with the consistency, doing it all the time.
He's a guy that likes to play center.
Pardon me?
Anton's a guy that likes to play
Yeah.
center. Is it important for you? Like, do you want him at that spot? I know he's played a ton away.
Yeah, I think it's good because when you're just in one spot, say you're a center. Well, there's only 4 centers that play at the next level. The winger, it's a little bit, okay, you got 8. But if you could play both and you can be versatile, that's 12 spots that open up. You know what I mean? So I think his natural instincts too. I used him a lot last year. I know he played center growing up. I know he really likes playing center, but his natural instinct is to play low. He's really good at killing plays in the D zone and transporting pucks. Also, he's really long. He's big, he's long, he's got a really good stick defensively. And I know, he's slotted as a winger, but I think it is the versatility with the size. If he can get good in face-offs, I think that's more of a, upper management decision on what they see him long-term. But I do think he has ability to play both positions.
You had 8 of your 9 2025 draft picks from the team in camp, and in game situations. Our first, for a lot of these guys, was our first pro setting. Now, what was your evaluation of the group first off?
Yeah, of the young kids.
I thought 8 draft picks. 2025.
I thought they did great. I mean, I thought the Kuharczyk, Ruchinski, Novotny line, I thought they were arguably our best line. They just played the game the right way. They were skating, they were hunting pucks. They get caught in the D zone sometimes. They miss assignments off faceoffs, but overall, I thought they did a great job. I thought Murka looked good. I thought today was a little, 3 games in 4 days for a young big D is a lot. I was probably a little bit overwhelmed today, but I thought he showed well. All the young kids I thought did a really good job.
You got your first look at Beliveau. Is he a guy that you think can maybe help you in Rochester?
Yeah, I think with the depth, he could skate. He's got a really good shot. He competes really hard. That was my first time seeing him. Like, I thought he did really. When we inserted him in the lineup, he just kind of calmed things down a bit. He's played a little bit of pro hockey. He made a strong case for himself. The depth. You always need depth, especially in the American League. There's guys going up, down. So it's good to have someone like that in our organization.
Leo, given the depth and versatility that your forward group has, like if opening night was tomorrow in Rochester, who would be your 4 centers?
Well, it's a tough. It's hard for me to answer because you never know what could happen at camp. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe one of them goes into camp and has 4 points in 3 games, and they blow the doors off. Then you got to make decisions. I think our staff, like you get through, injuries happen, and you get through training camp. You never know. So it's hard for me to make a decision or assumption. It's probably not fair to the guys. You know what I mean? They want to go in there. Everybody goes to a training camp. You're trying to make the team, and that's on the coaches, and then the players that are sent to Rochester. They're part of Rochester, and we'll figure out after that.
With Ruchinski specifically, obviously he scored today. It seemed like he continuously took steps offensively to improve.
Yeah.
What impresses you about his offensive skills?
Yeah, for a 7th round pick, he's just like a ball of energy. He just skates, he works, he competes really hard, he's really smart, he makes plays. He might add a point a game at the tournament. I mean, he was really impressive. He's going to be a really good junior hockey player, really good college hockey player, and especially with the late round picks, you just hope even if they play pro hockey one day in the American League, that's a really good draft pick, and he has all the tools to. It's hard to say an NHLer. You'll see how he progresses, but good player, really good player. I was impressed. Wasn't scared of the moment. Obviously, it's talking to those guys. It's an eye-opening experience. It's just how fast, how hard, how skilled everybody is. So I thought those guys, that line was, I thought they played great all weekend.
You talked about how players can open up situations for them if they can play center or wing, But in Wahlberg's case, as a coach, would you rather see him as a center than a wing? I know he was a center before he was drafted.
I think it's a good question. Like, I think it's all, I do think he could play the wing. He could play both positions. I like the thought of having a 6'3" center that could play below the circle, especially as his projection is probably a depth player in the NHL. Like I'm just like a Greenway, Malenstein, Danforth, like in that slot where if you're responsible, you could win shifts. You're good in your own zone. You're going to help your team win. You could be not that he's not going to be an offensive player. I think that's yet to be determined. He's going to have to learn how to score in front of the net. I think it all depends on, there's a possibility whether if someone makes a team out of camp or they take, you never know if it slots for him to play center. I'm more than comfortable playing him there. He gave us, anyone following Roch, there was a stretch there where we, towards the end of the year and call-ups and, where Wally played center for a huge chunk of the season. I would say an 8 to 10 game segment, and he was great. Were we at the winning percentage we were at before? No, but when we had things go on down there and we had to slot guys in different spots, or we had 11 forwards, like Wally did a great job playing center at the end of the season. When the stakes are higher, people are fighting for playoff spots, the games gets tighter, and Wally did a great job. And I even used him in playoffs some games, spot shifts, after a power play, or, Wally ended up being a late game situation guy because he's so big, he's got a really good stick. But I think there's a lot of tools for him to play the middle and the wing.
Thoughts on Bankowski's first time at this level, third round pick this year, 6'5", right shot defenseman. Do you see the skills about why he was drafted so high?
Yeah, he's big, he's strong. I think there was times he was overwhelmed with the pressure and when you're coming around the net, like you have that split second in junior hockey where you could probably carry the puck to the blue line or out of the zone I think there was times it was a deer in the headlights, like guys coming at you really fast to move the puck. So I think, but you see the size, the skating ability for the big man. There's a lot of tools, and I think it was a great experience for him to see what it's going to look like down the road at the next level, and if you want to get to the NHL.
And what are conversations like between now and the start of camp with guys who are maybe looking to play here in Buffalo, who either maybe didn't have the tournament they're hoping for, or maybe even exceeded their expectations?
Yeah, I think it's just a reset. I mean, the guys are going to have a couple days off before camp starts, and I know, Buffalo staff, new strength and conditioning program. I think it's going to be extremely difficult and challenging, and I think at the end of the day, they're going to try to they do whatever they can to put the best team forward possible to hopefully it's a long season and want to get into the playoffs. And I think at this point, Lindy's come in, done a really good job his first year, getting the mentality to change for the culture, and I think it's even going to be elevated this year. And I think they're in the mindset of having the best team possible for them to win, and whether that's a young guy, older guy, whoever could help them win, that's what they're going to do. And I think everybody's got a clean slate come Wednesday, and the guys that didn't produce this weekend, I think you have a chance, an opportunity come Wednesday to show what you could do. And then however they do the lineup when you get into a game, whether you play 1, 2, 3, it's an opportunity to showcase yourself, and I think that's really important.
With Merck, I'm just curious from a housekeeping standpoint, can you have him in Rochester this year?
Yeah, I think he's eligible because I'm not too particular with the rules, but I think he's in the same situation as Helly was last year because he played. I think he was signed, and yeah, I think he's eligible to play because he's technically not like major junior or like what Benson was or some of the other guys, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's a decision for the big club. It's possible, but then I think you look at whatever they choose to do, we support, but I think it's more of conversation like what is the best for him and his development going forward. And I will say with Helly, with forwards it's a little bit easier to hide in pro hockey. Defensemen, it's a different animal. So I think that's what's either way is a possibility, but I think that they'll make a decision on Jerry, management staff, Jason, and make a decision after that.